What's going on, guys? Connor coming back at you with another video, and actually right now we're live in the trading day. I don't have a position open on HMNY right now. I'm more so just doing a lot of work, getting some videos in place and everything set for the launch of the course. But what I wanted to kind of cover here was just a little bit of a recap on HMNY. I did a video on it last night, and this thing is about to crack. It's about to dump, right? I did the video last night letting people know this stock is going to come down. It's going to come down hard, and this is the start of it. Tomorrow is going to be another big red day, all right? Shorts are coming in. This thing is getting pushed down. People are starting to panic sell. Chances are it's going to come down pretty hard, and I think it's going to happen tomorrow, all right? It's still green on the day, just barely. Or no, it's actually red on the day because it opened right here. So, yeah, it just now became red on the day. But remember earlier when we did our pre-market watch list, if you tuned in, I said, draw the trend line and let's see where this thing is going to go, right? It has to hold above its overall trend. So for the past couple days, this strong uptrend, we're going to go from starting here, and then we're going to go on this low. So now we have a trend line because we had our first real low, and then we drew that trend. And remember, we were going across the bottom of the pre-market low right here. So we drew this trend, and that trend line extended out just like that. And come to find, early in the beginning of the day, the stock spiked, and then it came down and bounced right off that trend line, and part of it was because the 200 moving average was there. And look at where the stock is right now. It's right smack dab on that purple line and right next to the trend line, and we're starting to see a little bit of green. All right. So the only way the stock can continue higher is if it holds this trend. As soon as it breaks this trend line, all hell is going to break loose, and the stock is going to probably dump all over itself. Okay, guys? So again, this is just a little bit of a recap on HMNY. Letting you know my thought process. This is going to be, it's still on everybody's short list. It is a huge runner over the past couple weeks. But this was just, this trend line I drew was just to really show you and get you guys' minds thinking in the right track, that whenever you're thinking about taking positions on a stock, try and draw some trend lines and get an overall idea of where the trend is to kind of project where you could potentially buy dip buys or bounces. See what's happening? You see how it's bouncing? That's because the trend line is there and the 200 exponential moving average rate right there. So all the people that sold and then started shorting the stock are starting to cover because they see that this is holding up as a support, an upward support. That's why we're getting that green right now. The trend line's there, the 200 moving average is there. You see that? Look at that. Shorts are covering, causing it to squeeze back up. That is all that's happening right now. A little bit of buying pressure, and majority of it is short sellers buying back their shares. All right? That's all it is. Something else really cool I want you guys to look at so you can look for in the future is not only do we draw upward support lines, but we can draw upward resistance lines. Watch what happens when I draw this, right? So we go from this high of day, and then we follow each of the high points or resistance points on the upward trend up until the start of today, and look exactly where the stock broke out in this morning and squeezed. Oh, what happened to my trend line? Ready? So watch. We go from here to this high and across that high, this high, and right there. So right about there, following right over top all of the trend lines, and you come into today's trading and you'll see that's exactly where the stock squeezed out and broke through. It was right there. So you had 2 points. You had the pre-market high breakout today, and you had an upward resistance breakout of the trend. Quick squeeze, quick pop, then it's short. So this is just a recap on HMNY, knowing my thoughts, my thought process, and kind of showing you some trend lines. So I really think this is a valuable video to really kind of just look over, give you a better understanding that you should always have some type of game plan or analysis going into the trading day. But I recommend watching this one, and anybody who's still in the stock, it's probably about time. If I were in the stock and I went long and I made some money on it over the past few days, I would look to sell. This is a big, scary day. If we look at the daily chart now, or I can just Yeah, I'll just look at the daily chart from here on this guy. So if we look at the daily chart, let me delete these drawings. All right, let's take a deletion on these. Look at, instead of a big green full day, now we've turned into basically a red doji. So a huge candle, huge, from $27 to $38 in one day. Look at that range. That is a big day of indecision and indecisiveness, probably signaling it's time for the stock to come down. So those are just my thoughts and a little bit of process on HMNY. So I hope you guys like that.